Okay, there we go. I think actually now we got sound. All right. I always like to check to make sure all this stuff is working here when we first get in. And it looks like we are definitely streaming, okay, but there was no sound there for a bit. But we're back in. So pretty much welcome to the weekly flagship, weekly review and flagship project. Happy to have you here. And as always, it's good. We got a lot going on, a lot of good stuff. And want to wish you all happy Father's Day. Okay, that's what we were doing earlier today, was wish you happy Father's Day. So hope you guys had a good time with your kids and really get to share the stuff with. I'll tell you, the most important times of my life was getting to spend times with my kids, my son. And some of my biggest regrets in life is those times when he wanted to play a game with me or do something like that. And I just wasn't in the headspace to be able to do it. And I would go back, give my left thumb to be able to have those days back. So you guys have got your kids and are hanging out with them. You're blessed men. So I hope you had a great day and were really not just honored by your family, but felt honored on behalf of your family for having your family. So, all right. Well, we're going to move forward with the flagship review this week. We got a few people popping in already. We got Layered Nige, as I call him, Nigel. What's up, Nige, over in the UK? What? He's doing some great stuff. He told me earlier today that he's on board with the Fusion X stuff, which I am too. I think Fusion X is just, I think, honestly, I'm going to be straight up. I think it's the best there is. It's incredible. So, Ash Ember Love comes in here. What's up? She says, sup, homie. And she goes, nothing works ever but serious. Good to go. Right. Now we're ready to go. Right. It's never quite as easy. I think you got to have like a team. You got to be making money and then hiring people that you can yell at if it's not working. Because right now all I can do is yell at myself. Right. And so, well, that don't do no good. Right. I'm like old man shaking fist at sky sort of thing. So anyway, good to have you here, Ash. Good to have you here, Layer Nige. Yo, so we'll quickly go over the week, what we looked at. Last week there was so much video generation. I've told you in the past that how a lot of this works is they come out with stuff back to back to back. So like you get a major drop and you're like, oh my God, we're so excited. And then like a day later, a second major drop happens. And it's kind of frustrating, honestly, because I really want to get you guys hyped up and working with one thing. And then I feel like I have to undercut the other to keep up. And that's kind of what happened last week. We had 3 major studio drops now that came out, just one after another. Now, fair enough, a couple of these have been out. So it's not like, I guess, if I had been on it a little faster, we could have spaced them. But they hit my board. They hit kind of the board all at once. So let's take a real quick look here at what we talked about. Last week we had the Frame Pack Studio big update. And that, of course, was awesome. That was we had our interview with Colin Herbs, which was really cool. We didn't get to see him on video. Colin, we want to see your face. Want to see your face, Colin. But we did get to have we get to have a good chat with him over audio. So that was cool, all right? And he has said that in the future that we might be able to actually get him on screens. So I think it was just a timing issue for him. So we might get him back on, which would be really good. So the Frame Pack Studio, I'm not going to talk too much about that because we went through that. We have taken it up. We have taken that down. Lots of new stuff, especially the post-production issues with that. You can throw stuff in there, be working with last frames, single frames. He's got it in there. You can actually throw in a video and cut down every frame, as many frames as you want, so that you can actually be working with those, for whatever your projects are. So good stuff. I do have it on good knowledge that we might be moving on beyond just Frame Pack and getting to some other models, which would be really good because Frame Pack is a great model. And I've always said the best thing about Frame Pack is not necessarily even the model, but the ease of use. Because really, so many people, they just want to get into this and they just want to be able to grab something and work with it. And FramePack is one of those things, you just grab it, you install it, you do it, and it's just like, oh, and it works so well. I'm always more impressed with that. Now you go over to Reddit and you got guys over there and they're so, I don't want to say they're high on their own supply, but it's like hanging out with people that just on such higher levels of this, their expectations are so much more that they can't relate with the common man anymore. And so like we'll show you later, throw up some video and you're getting snub about it. I'm going, you got to be, I'm saying the thing, you got to be crazy, because this is amazing. And for the people that I know that want to just make stuff, this is off the chart. But you know, they're trying to compare it to like Hollywood production level styles, and you're like, that's not what the majority of people are into. But anyways, that's always been the best thing about FramePack. Okay, we did look at this video. This is pretty wild. The Helix robots are coming. Guys, I should just do a whole sub-channel or a whole weekly section on robots, because the robot stuff is just getting, again, just off the chart. Okay, so I watched a video. I'm gonna be honest, I start watching things and I get anxious, not because I'm scared of the technology, but because like there's so much going on that you just realize I'm doing such a small thing in such a large space, right? It's that whole idea of like realizing that there's this massive universe and that you're just like on a little dirt dust bowl in the middle of whatever. Thank God, of course, for God, we have value. That brings value to us in the midst of our insignificance and the giant world of things. And in the same way, as we're looking at the world of robots and all this, and you go, the megasphere of what's going on is so massive, and what we're doing over here, teaching people face swap and stuff, is so small, but yet it is valuable, because you know what? People are valuable, and it's what you guys want to do. And anyway, all of that being said, okay, I could do a whole other thing just on following robots, because it is getting off the chart. Okay, what they're doing. So this obviously, of course, is a robot. They did an hour-long video here of this thing just sorting packages. Okay, so pretty soon you're going to have factories that are just full of these. Again, I don't know what they're going to do with all the factory workers that they don't need once they get the robots. I read a sci-fi book years ago. I can't remember what it was. Maybe it was an Asimov book or something. I don't know. But basically, robots were made illegal on Earth, but could only be used in outer space in the colony planets because of the whole economic issue of them, of them taking away work. But I don't know. We'll see what happens. But anyway, amazing stuff going on. Robots are hitting mainstream within the year. Okay, that's my guess. And people will be marrying them within 3 to 5. Easy. Okay. Worked on the FramePack Studio update. So, okay, that was that. Okay, we had a video on how to update your FramePack Studio. Real simple stuff. All right, I won't submit you to that or make you have to listen to that anymore, but pretty much easy. Just going in there, opening up your virtual environment, and then going into your directory, and then doing a git pull. So GITPULL, and that pulls it down for you. Now, some people were having issues with earlier with it's saying that their repo wasn't part of the main repo, so the git pull wasn't quite working. But went and fixed it. Over here, I actually do have a file. I think it's over here in the FramePack thing or whatever. You'll find it there. I did have an update to there on how to make sure that you are actually part of the branch. Essentially, what happens is how Git works is you have a repository, and then off of it you have branches, or you might have different commits. Okay, so like I said, at this day, at this time, these were the files we were using, and then at this time, these were the files we're using. You get up to the main one. So what can happen is you get off of that main track. It goes, well, I don't know which one of these you want me to pull. So we type a get pull, and it says, okay, well, you're not part of any track. So we just set ourselves back onto the main track and then pull it back down again. And this does talk about, I fixed it so that you guys can do that. If you ever have problems, go to ChatGPT. Okay. Let's see here. Ash is popping in, and she's saying that whole thing about the robots out there might have been a Star Trek thing. Yeah, that's a very Star Trek-y thing. I do feel like there was a book that I read, but yeah, that's obviously classic theme throughout sci-fi is robots taking over too much. So good call on that one, Ash. We'll give you an extra, we'll nod you down for an extra point over here. Okay, here's where we get into our second model. This really, I really had a hard time with this because we promoted Face Pack or Frame Pack, Face Pack. We promoted Frame Pack, and I really do like Frame Pack, and then Fusion X came out, or I became aware of it, and Fusion X is just, it's incredible. I don't know what to say other than I think this is the best that there is out there right now. At least with your image to video, the crystal clear quality. There's nothing that really compares. This obviously the motions on this are weird, but still the resolution and the high quality of that woman's face and his head. I mean, it's incredible stuff. I personally think that WAN 2.1 Fusion X is the best that there is out there right now. And all it really is its vase, but they've added these two special LoRa's to it that raise the resolution of the quality and do some stuff, and whatever they did is incredible. So we do have the Quant Model Manager for Comfy UI. So all you gotta do is, if you're a member, you just grab that and throw that in outside of your Comfy UI folder, load it up, and you can add and delete quants and play with that all day. Yeah, this is the best there is as far as I'm concerned. Okay, but again, keep in mind that there's different things that things are good for. Again, Frame Pack is really good for getting it into. If I had someone that was just bought a new computer and I'm trying to get them something to play with, I'm gonna get them Frame Pack. Frame Pack I'm gonna be like, hey, let me just download this for you. We'll get you going. I get them Focus, right? Easy peasy stuff. Get them going with that. If I want to start playing around with stuff of my own, I'm probably gonna start playing more with Vase. Okay. And we've got another third one coming up here we're going to look at here in a second. But, okay, so we get up here to our troubleshooting. Okay, here was where I was talking about the get pull origin main. This command here will actually get you back on track. Any repository you're working with, if you're trying to update it and you use a get pull and it gives a weird message, get pull origin main. And obviously I put a file down here. You can just click it and it'll do it for you as well. Okay, we did some face swapping stuff because what is life without a little bit of face swapping?
With Pikers or gypsies.
What you doing, Potter? Get us away, mate.
You can't really understand much of what is being said.
You tell me. Come about the Carter.
Mr. O'Neill.
Fuck, man. Tell me, Mickey.
It's not Irish.
Damn it. I forgot the sound again. So I have to turn the sound off when we're talking about the video. So obviously that's Brad Pitt. And so what I was pointing out is you got the mustache. So this really grabs it in there real well. From down here, you can see that it's grabbed it and put it on his face there really well. So rope is definitely the de facto. So what I was saying was people really love Roop, But the problem with rope is it's just, I don't think it's ever going to be updated again. Plus, rope is the logical predecessor of rope. So it kind of went from, they had the original rope was just a box. And you put a picture in, and there was a button that just did it. That was the very first. That was from years ago. And then this guy named Count Floyd made what was called Roop Unleashed. And he actually turned it into a full app. Okay, so all hail to Count Floyd. And then after that, some guys named Argent Spin and Alucard, they took it and they turned it into rope. Okay, and then you've got, your rope, what I call rope origin. Then it gets better with rope next, and then you get rope live, and then it moves on to what they've now rebranded it as Visomaster, which I don't know, that's a great rebranding, but I do know that the face swapping softwares are all under attack. Legislation, deep fake, that type of stuff. So Roop has actually been taken offline from GitHub, but we did save it. I managed to grab it and I saved it. I put it up onto Codeberg, and you can find it there as Roop Floyd. So I just renamed it Roop Floyd in honor of Count Floyd himself, and you can obviously get it there, or you can get it by going to roopgetgoingfast.pro. So this is the original, but I'm a rope man. So anyway, getting back to this was all rope. We did this one again, the Dumb and Dumber.
Excuse me,
Didn't
gentlemen.
even see his face.
This is a $500 plate dinner. Good night.
Oh, 500. Oh, okay. All right, no problem. Here, put us down for 4, in case we want seconds.
And you can see again, it got my mustache and everything there, so it works really well. So this is all rope live. This video went real well. I got like 24,000 views off just a few days. It's not very much for a short, but for me that's kind of a lot. Okay, now we get back into, we did this video, just kind of a sample video of WAN 2.1. Again, you're gonna see, I love FramePack Studio, and we're gonna keep promoting FramePack Studio, but the level of motion and the quality stuff, they just really don't compare. Fusion X is definitely the way to go. And again, as I mentioned before, kind of snake. This actually might be getting integrated into FramePack Studio. So we might be moving back from FramePack Studio into a more comprehensive studio, which would be really cool, because Fusion X is the future, yo. Or at least it's I don't know if it's the future, it's the here and now for certain. But let's go ahead and watch this one. And I'll try to remember to turn on my microphone when we're done. All right, so there you go. Hard to come to any other conclusion than Fusion X is awesome. By the way, Todd Vollmer just dropped in. So Todd, what's up? Good to see you. Here's some 100% for you. Boom, boom, boom. Hey, we got these little things over here, the little icons. So you're welcome to do those. I think those actually somehow help the stream, but whatever. All right, so anyway, yeah, Fusion X is der bomb. Oh, Ash is evidently scared of clowns. Now, I will say, with the what am I trying to say? Fusion X, all of this was image to video. Now, the thing with image to video is that it does not. This is a little bit different. One thing that FramePack Studio does better is it actually keeps the original image and then adds to it. This takes the original image and it recreates it, and then it goes on for it. So you don't typically get an extension. So it doesn't keep what would be called a first frame, because you put in the first few frames, you say just continue from there. So it doesn't really continue. It recreates. Okay, so that is one different thing. If you have to have the exact same thing, probably FramePack Studio is going to go. So Todd said, what size VRAM is yours? I think that I have heard people using this down as far as 12. We're going to get to another low VRAM. I don't really recommend doing anything lower than 16, but we're going to get to another. We're going to get down to another here in just a minute, studio that you can go down to 10 gigabytes with and be doing all this. Now, it doesn't mean that you're not going to be waiting forever, but you can run this stuff, and you're going to get excited about that in a second. Okay, someone points out, oh, Point is here. What's up, Point? And as usual, he's getting right to the point. Hey, and he says there are LoRa's for Fusion X. Right. So Fusion X is just WAN. So pretty much you can grab your WAN LoRa's and use that. Oh, by the way, when using this with VRAM, notice in this video here it says model. If you notice, it says model Q5 encoder Q5. That's because these are using GGUFT models. GGUF, right? GGUFT models. So you can actually go down and find quants. Now, if you look at these, I was telling you about the kind of the snobby dudes that were like talking like, oh, well, you know, it's not blah, blah, blah. Well, because they're looking at, there's some grainy stuff in here, but that's because I'm using a low quant. So if you did these same things with a Q8 or something like that, or, you know, FP16, it's gonna take you a heck of a lot longer, but you get even higher quality. But again, I'm a get going fast guy. I honestly just want to show you that we can make incredible stuff, and then you guys can spend your time making it as good as you want, and you can make it really good. So, all right, AI music pops in. Good. By the way, AI, welcome here, yo. We'll give you some hundreds. All right. Long time lurker, first time engaging. Nice. You inspired me to start my own channel. Good. Yeah, I believe I've seen it, and I believe I'm following you. So good job. Would love for a critique of my first video, working on incorporating FramePack Studio into my next project. Sure. AI, come on over to Discord and let's chat and show me what you got. I'd love to talk with you. Todd says, yep, he'd rather wait and be able to run. Get her done. Yep, I'm a get her done kind of a fella. And honestly, this is incredible quality. So, like, people snubbing this, I'm just like, this is amazing. Okay. All right. Let's scroll up. Okay, Sam Altman, the gentle singularity. I believe this is an older article, but still, it's so good. We are past the event horizon. The takeoff has started. Humanity is close to building digital superintelligence. And guys, they really are. That's where I was talking about earlier. I watch this stuff and I kind of get stressed out because I'm such a small person. Like, people will make billions and trillions. I might make a few, I might make enough to pay the mortgage, which is great. I'm very blessed. But it'd certainly be nice to be part of the bigger. But we play our roles. And I think this is the point, is that, guys, we're going into the future. If we had hundreds of thousands of dollars to invest in Bitcoins and all this, we'd do it. But we have the means that the Lord gives us in the time, and we play our role. And guys, we are at the beginning of something big. And so, finding our way into that. But Sam Altman's pointing this out, that humanity's close to building digital superintelligence, and they are. Okay, and at least so far it's much less weird than it seems like it should be. Robots are not yet walking the streets. Within the next year, they will be. Nor most of us talking to AI all day, except for me. I'm talking to AI like all day long. People still die of disease. We still can't easily go to space. There's a lot about the universe we don't understand. A lot about women we don't understand too, right? Hey, all right. And yet we have recently built systems that are smarter than people in many ways, and they are, and are able to significantly, and this is important, amplify the output of people using them. And that's really the key with chatbots, is you're amplifying yourself. I always feel the issue, people talk about, well, you just have an AI do it for you. It's like, no, you're having, it's an amplifier. It's you, it's your thoughts. You're throwing your thoughts in there, and you're using this thing to resonate them back to you and to amplify them in ways that you might not be able to. So you do work on a project with AI, you get yourself back out of it, okay? Guaranteed. If you go in there not knowing what you're doing, you're not going to get much out of there. I have gone into AI chatbots, big things, and said, hey, build this. I have no idea how to guide it. And maybe I get something, but a lot of times I don't, okay? When I go in there with a clear idea of what I'm thinking, and I'm able to express myself to the chatbot, which when it talks about here, smarter than people in many ways, chatbots get you. They understand your words, which is amazing. So, but when you go in there with a concerted mindset of what you want to do and what you want to build, and you're able to express yourself, you get your project back to you in ways that you probably wouldn't have been able to do it. It's incredible. The output is incredible, and it's you. It has your DNA in it. You can tell that this is something you thought about. Okay, the least likely part of the work is behind us. The scientists' insights that got us to systems like GTP4 and O3 were hard won, but will take us very far. AI will contribute to the world in many ways, but the gains to quality of life from AI driving faster scientific progress and increased productivity will be enormous. The future can be vastly better than the present. Scientific progress is the biggest driver of overall progress. It's hugely exciting to think about how much more we could have, and it's going to go huge. Now, let's be real about this. A lot of bad stuff's going to come from AI. There's going to be evil. There's going to be terror. There's going to be people killed. Someone's going to use AI in a way that kills a lot of people, does a lot of damage. But AI is all just like everything else, okay? But it's also going to be used to increase the prosperity levels of the world. I won't, the Lord Jesus said that you're always going to have the poor with you. So I think any sort of utopian sort of thing where we're saying, oh, we're going to eradicate poverty, we're going to eradicate the human condition, I think that's silly. But you can definitely see that even in the last 100 years, how the world has gotten better, percentages have gotten smaller in certain areas, diseases, and that's definitely going to happen. Things are going to get better, things are going to get worse, as they always do. As humans, we hobble our way into the future. We're like a person that can run, but then they strain their back, and so we've got humanity has a bad back. So anyway, I've invested in AI, as I know you guys are. I think it's incredible. Let's be I used to run a site called Jim Day and the Better Story. Well, I still have my band, The Better Stories, but I ran a site called The Better Stories. And that was one of the big things. It's like, we need to be the better people. And so AI in the hands of criminals, AI in the hands of terrorists, bad, AI in the hands of good people is a good thing. Just like a gun or just like any other tool. Let us not shrink away and hide from that, but rather let's take our roles as protectors and leaders. All right. Point says, when I mix certain lures, I get that grain. So it's avoidable and probably not attributable to just the quant. Okay, interesting. OpenAI pushing back their open reasoning model to end of summer. All right, so into summer we'll have a new reasoning model. That's cool. Ash Shimber says, robots standing over you while you sleep after watching Psycho E. Yeah, Ash is worried that the robots will learn from your horror movies. I see they've got a new movie out called Popeye the Slayer Man. So don't watch that with your robot, okay? All right. So now here we get to our project of the week, what we're going to be using. And this is 1.2 GP, and it looks something like this. Okay. This is what we're going to work on today. This is low VRAM. It's by the guy with the greatest name on the internet, which is called Deep Beep Meep. And I think he's Chinese. I'm not sure, but whatever. It doesn't matter. Got the great name. And essentially, this is for low V. His tagline is for the VRAM poor or something like that, or for the GPU poor, I think is his tagline. And he comes up with great stuff, and he's come up with this studio. Now, look at all of these models that you can be running. Here, let me get this so I can move this a little bit better. Look at all these models that he's got in there. He's got them all. WAN 2.1 text to video, 1.3B, 14B. You've got WAN 2.1 image to video. You've got WAN 2.1 FLF. I'm not sure what that is. Okay, but you can play with it. Here's your vase, your movie gen, Phantom. Phantom is kind of like Fusion X. Phantom is the one where you can throw in multiple images and it will blend them. So I took a picture of a dress and I took a picture of a woman and I said, put the dress on the woman, and it blended the two and it put the dress on the woman. Okay. I said, put the hat from here on, the hat from image 1 onto the woman or the man on image 2, and it did it. So that's what Phantom is. And when you're working with the Fusion X stuff, the workflow actually has Phantom in the workflow. So you'll see there's actual multiple boxes. Really quick, let's go over here. We got new people. Raccoon Frank came in, says, love your videos. How far away do you think we are from running custom LLMs with custom characters locally on high-end smartphones with text-to-speech? So first of all, Raccoon, welcome. Here, I'm going to give you some hundreds. Sup, all those hundreds for you. Here's a celebration too. So welcome, glad to have you here. So he's wanted to know about how far from running custom LLMs with custom characters looked on high-end smartphones. So I don't really. He wanted to know, like, when can he start using his cell phone to do stuff. So right now, what we've done is you can run it on your computer, and there's ways, especially using Silly Tavern and this kind of stuff. You can run that on your cell phone, but that's hitting your computer. So he's actually on your thing. They definitely have models that are small enough to run on your cell phone. So I guess like anything else is going to be related to hardware. So they're going to have to pump. There's things that work in tandem. They bring the models smaller and more efficient, but they also expand the hardware. I feel like that if Hanky were here, Hanky, of course, is one of the co-creators of Cobalt CPP. I feel he would have a better idea on this. I don't know. I throw everything, I kind of throw everything into my general bag of like 1 to 2 years. I don't know. I would say not too far around the corner because they need to do that. You've already got Gemini on your Androids. So obviously we're getting there. I think more than anything, it's going to just be how easy it is to do it. And I haven't had the time to really sit down and figure out how to run local LLMs on my Android. Again, there's only so much you can do. So I wish I had a better answer for you, Raccoon. What do you think, though? Tell us what you think. I'd love to see any thought you have on that. Okay, Todd Vollmer points out 1.3B video, absolutely. So he's talking about over here. So this is going to be an easier model to run. Obviously, 1.3 is about 12 times smaller than the 14B, which means it's going to be easier to run. Okay, I would just stick with your 1.3B for all of your playing around, and then if you want to do a 14B and you know what you're going to get, you keep the seed, you keep all that stuff. Then run your 14B and, sit back for a while and wait for it to run. All right. Let's see what else we got going on here. Ash Ember is running stuff on her. She's running a local LLM on her Android already, so we'll have to talk with her. Raccoon, maybe check out with Ash Ember and let's find out how she's doing stuff as well. Maybe she got some insight for us. She has a bot called Echo that she runs, and we'll see. Okay. Yeah, Point says he connects it to his computer, which is what I was saying. Like, we have a video on that. You can actually, and I have it over on Get Going Fast. You can actually just get it, install it. It goes really easy, and it creates a public URL that you can just connect to on your phone. Oh, so Ash is saying use base website to use on your phone. Right. So she's running off a website. I think, guys, what Raccoon is talking about, though, is he wants to know when can you actually have your phone host the model and actually crunch it. So, like I said, they've got baby models now that are less than a gigabyte that can run off your thing, but they're going to be more for basic automation, things. Clicking yes, clicking no, getting stuff done, not having long conversations with the Valley girl with a lisp, the Pirate Valley girl with a lisp, Okay, Roland is here. Hey, Roland, welcome in. Let's give you some hundreds. Is Facebook Meta buying the AI? Will they try to own IV? I don't know. I read something about Facebook. I think, was it Facebook just bought some huge piece of Apple? Maybe that's what he's talking about. No, he wants to know, will they own everything? And I'm going to say no, because there's antitrust laws. And that's how all these things go. These companies make trillions of dollars, and then eventually it comes down that they're antitrust, and so then they give away a few billions. They make their money, so it's worth it to them. But no, I think the competition space is too high, and I think there are regulators out there that are going to keep any one person from owning anything. I would say, for me, the bigger fear, rather than Facebook or Google or X owning everything, is more kind of government owning everything. So what I would be more cautious is which companies are getting in bed with government, and then the government can create its own monopolies, and then you're in trouble. That is a big issue with China, by the way, because China owns the businesses. So DeepSeek and that kind of stuff are beholden, and so essentially anything coming out of China, the Communist Party over there owns. The CCP owns it. That's because it worries me a bit more. But I do think that we've come out of a dark era. I think that the tech bros took us off a cliff, so kind of like you in some ways to those guys. At the same time, we're kind of been experiencing a newer breadth of intellectual freedom, so that's been nice. Okay, anyway, let's get back to this really quickly here. We back to our WAN GP, so you guys can actually get this over at Get Going Fast. All you gotta do is you just gotta type 12gp.getgoingfast.pro, and that'll take you over to Get Going Fast. And if you're a member, you can just download it for free. I do not believe this is working for the 50 series yet. I'm going to work on it. Here's the repo. You can actually go find it there as well. And you can look and see all the updates they've done, and you can do your own quick start and everything. But I also have it over here, like I said, for Farmland members, so you don't have to worry about it. Just get it, run it, get it going. I will tell you, every one of these things that you try, it downloads a model. Okay, so you need to be doing some model management. That would be one nice thing that if they had on here was a delete. But you're gonna have to go into your files and delete some, because download this 1.3. I mean, that's gonna be, you're gonna be downloading 4 gigabytes. Then you can download this 14 Pro. You're gonna be downloading 20 gigabytes. And I want to go try this movie gen. Well, that's gonna be another 20. And your phantoms, and get down to your recam measure. Sky Reels is kind of interesting. Again, I'd play with the 1.3B. On this, but again, you're downloading these. But what's beautiful about this is, guys, you get to try all this stuff, and it's a real pain in the butt. There's a reason that I make my model managers, because most of these things you have to run them in Comfy UI, and you've got to have the VAEs, you've got to have the text encoders, you got to have all these different upscalers, and it really is kind of a pain. This is a nice way to do it, but I will say that because this is a VRAM low sort of thing, so I run it with my 4090, it still takes me about 10 minutes to get a video out of these, 8 to 10 minutes, which is kind of worth it for me, because because I want to try out these different things. And like I said, this is a fast. The time that I save by not having to install these stupid things into Comfy UI is worth it for me to wait a few extra minutes on a video. And that's saying a lot because I don't like waiting on videos. But check out, you got your Fun IP, check out your Sky Reels, your LTX. So there's a lot going on here. And I want to show you over here, check out your LoRa presets. I'm going to be doing a video on this. If we get up here to our WAN 2.1 image to videos. Okay, that's taking a bit to load. But this comes with some prepackaged LoRa's. Remember those? In fact, I can show these, a few of these that I did. You know those things like the Squish thing or Cakeify? This comes with these. You can load these into there. Do I only have Cakeify on here? Here we go. Okay, here's the gun one. So this is all in this WAN 2GP. So that's... Oh, here you go. Yep, see? You got them all down here. Samurai, Snow White, spinning everything. So you can really play with this. Again, it's not a fast thing, but you can get her done. And there really is just a ton in here. You got a video mask creator. I've never really been great at working with masks. I've never really kind of mastered that. But that's essentially like, say, if you mask this image of me right here, you could mask, say, like my face, and you get a green screen, and then you can put a different face on there. This actually does it all for you here, and they actually have a tutorial here on how to do it. So this is huge. This is actually a really massive thing. So like I said, I'll get more into this in our how to do video. But WAN 2GP is cool. The reason I liked it was because all of a sudden I can try all of these things. Hunyuan video avatar, that was the new one where where you can speak. It's a lip syncing thing. I don't think it's that great, but people are really excited about it. I guarantee you cannot run the normal one with a single GPU. Okay, so with a 4090, you can try running. If you try to install this from the GitHub repo, I ran it for over an hour and it got to 2%. And they say that on there, that it's extremely slow. But with Deep Beep Meep here, you can actually do this on your machines here. So you can play around with all that. Okay. All right, let's get moving on here. I think that's pretty much what we're going. Yeah, and so that leads us to our flagship project. So the flagship project for the week is just play with WAN 2GP. Go ahead and go get it. Like I said, you can get it just by typing WAN2GP.getgoingfast.pro. Download it, install it as standalone. Make sure that you set the model download folder to a place where you have lots of space and you do model management. And so the only goal is just to get it installed and test out each model. So I want you guys to test out each model. Get back to me, let me know what you've created, and come over to Discord and share the stuff that you've made, and I will share it. So let's get back to here really quick. I ran out of memory with my 3090 with WAN GP. Okay, yeah, so Roland, that's what Roland said. So Roland, I would just suggest that with that you go smaller models, smaller stuff. Raccoon Frank, on a 4070, I'm able to get 480p with Fusion X LoRa, 8 steps, 5 seconds, and under 3 minutes. That's awesome. Yes, Raccoon Frank, that's awesome. So 4070 TIS, 480p text to video with Fusion X LoRa, in under 3 minutes. That's awesome. And that's another reason why Fusion X is so good. It's so damn fast. Okay? I can do the same with my 4090, and I can get stuff out in 2 minutes, under 2 minutes. Fusion X is just amazing. So we really looked at 3 models. We had our FramePack Studio, I'll get my fingers backwards. We got our FramePack Studio, which really is great for new users. Get them the FramePack Studio. Get in there. If you need to have true start frame stuff, FramePack Studio is your fella, okay? We had Fusion X, which is just, it's the best, okay? It's just amazing. You need to go, you can get that by going to WAN FX. If you just go to wanfx.getgoingfast.pro, that will take you over to here, and you can download the model manager there. So again, so you can play with the different quants, but that's what we had going on there. Okay, we had our third one then is the Deep Beep Meep, which was the for low VRAM, and it is just really great for trying stuff out. Okay, I'm not going to make it my main thing because again, it's low VRAM, which means it takes longer. So even Fusion X is going to take longer with it, but it's just so well made that you can just run everything. Okay, and so you can. It's really a good one to test and to play with. Highly impressive. Okay, I always make a perfect workflow. Okay, blah, blah, blah. Okay, point is, how long for a Hunyuan avatar vid? I don't quite remember. I will say, I think it's, the problem with another thing with Hunyuan video avatar is you're pretty much stuck with only a 5-second video. I feel like it took 20, 30 minutes to get there. I'll have to try another one. I'm still extremely happy with Sonic. The only thing I wish Sonic would do is would give the whole body. Sonic cuts everything into a 4x4 square. So even if you had me like this, it's just going to cut it to like this, you know. But go ahead and play. Let me know. Vase is one part of 1TG I haven't completely understood yet. Could you briefly explain Phantom? Okay, and so I already kind of explained Phantom, but Phantom basically takes 2 images. Let's go over here really quick. If we click on Phantom, and we'll grab the 1.3, is it takes 2 images. Oh, well, this is different here. Okay, well, in Comfy UI, it takes 2 faces, or it takes up to 4 images, and it blends them. I'm not quite sure what it's doing here. So this is looking like a text-to-video thing. So you would put in your, essentially what you would do is you'd put in your image, say picture of my face, and then you got over here, you say, guy on a water ski looks at the camera and smiles, and he would put my face on it, okay? So this is actually kind of a simpler way of doing it. Phantom with Comfy UI, like I said, you get 4 boxes, you put different images, it blends them all together with that. So, and like I said, you get that at 1.2G. You can get Fusion wanfx.getgoingfast.pro. You've got 1.2gp.getgoingfast.pro. And I do believe I have a basic Phantom install. So I will say this. I'm sorry, I know it's getting a little bit confusing. Phantom is different than Fusion X, okay? So Fusion X, essentially, the workflow with Comfy UI blends the 2 of them. So Phantom by itself is just this, multi-image coherency, putting them together. You can go over to Get Going Fast and actually get the installer for this. I believe this is a standalone, so you don't have to have Comfy UI, but you'll notice it does a good job here of changing things up, keeping things in the basic thing, but the quality is not really great, and I believe it's because to get it to work, you have to use a smaller model. I think, again, if you were talking, you had professional level, production level stuff, then you run this at the full model, and it'd be amazing. But essentially what Fusion X does, its workflow in Comfy UI blends in Phantom X so that you're getting the Fusion X quality along with the Phantom stuff. So you're going to see those things kind of interchange. And again, it's a little bit confusing, but that's just because the technology, you have a technology here, you have a technology here, you have a technology here, and then they start to create combinations of them. So you got Fusion X and Phantom, but then you got Fusion X, Phantom, you got Phantom Fusion X, and then you got Phantom 1, Vase, Fusion X, multi, blah, 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 blah. So that's kind of what's going on there. Is better just look at them as separate technologies that creative people are blending into one bigger project. Okay, I think we're going to end it there. I want to thank you guys for showing up. We had a few new people pop in, so it was good to see you. Raccoon, thanks for popping in. Point, as always, you were on point. Good to see you. Ash, appreciate you dropping in as always. Say hi to Red for me. We got Todd popped in here, so good on Pod. AI Music, thanks for coming in, man. Come share your stuff. I'm happy to take a look at it with you. And 9-Layer Nige, of course, is part of our team. Good to see Nigel around as always. So with that, we are going to leave you guys. Enjoy the week. We'll be back on Wednesday for our live Q&A. If you're not a member at getgoingfast.pro, I really encourage you to do so. It's $12 and you get everything on the site, and it gives makes me pay a little bit more attention to some of your questions as well too, because I'm there for my members. So all right, if you like this, go ahead, drop reviews, tell people about it, tell your friends about it, and you're always welcome to give a little super like or smile. It keeps me moving down the road. With that, we're going to say goodbye and wish you guys the absolute best. Oh, there's Jams. Jams popped in just long enough to say bye. So we'll catch up with you guys later, and blessings to y'all.